welcome back. So this one here, we're acting on an inactive license or pretending to have one. I think we've covered this subject pretty well, and I want to save the time for this next one and the one that follows if we have the time. Messing with the money. Yeah, this is
Money
you,
man.
Jason.
Well,
This
only
is you.
slightly, because I mean, I can mess with the money all day long, and I'll never lose my real estate license, right?
Yes.
I don't have one. But think about this. Okay, so you have two things that can go wrong with money, and one of them is conversion, and the other one I forget the name of, which is when you commingling.
Commingling.
There it is. So there's a picture of money, right? Was that up there?
Let's
Commingling
see.
and
Yep.
conversion.
Yeah. Well,
Looks
this
like
one,
it's under the table here.
this is under the table money.
I love it.
Here, Grandma.
Okay, so you write an offer on a place, and within 4 days of acceptance, your client needs to give earnest money, right?
Yep.
And then within 4 days of receiving the earnest money, it needs to be deposited in the broker's trust account. Or if you got the addendum, the title company, right?
Yep.
So what if your buyers give you cash? It's a cash transaction because lenders don't like cash, but so they're gonna pay the rest of it. They already have the money. They sold their house. It's sitting in their bank. So they give you $5,000 cash as earnest money. Any problem?
Well, sure, on your end, because you need to source
No,
that
no,
money.
no loan. It's a cash
Don't
transaction.
even where that's cash.
No, they've got the money.
Yeah, that's a question for you guys.
Yeah,
I'm-
you tell me.
Commingling. So if they give you a check, can you spend it?
No.
If they give you cash, have you commingled funds?
Oh, because what you're saying, what I'm hearing is if they give you cash and you put it in your pocket and you've got a penny already in your pocket, you're commingling funds. Is that where you're going?
Is that what you're saying?
I think you could be commingling funds. You have possession of their cash. If they need to do cash and your broker is okay with that and they give that directly to the brokerage something and not you, but as an agent, I would be a little concerned because so there are some people who say that no, that's not commingling because it's whatever. It's in an envelope. It's not in your possession. But so what about this? So you take the cash earnest money deposit and you really want a swig, but you realize you left your wallet in your car, and so you're in swig with the $5,000,
Yeah.
and so you buy your swig with $5 out of that, and then you replace that $5 with $5 of your own. No harm, no foul.
Right.
You have
Except for
just
there is.
commingled and
Commingled
converted
funds.
funds, which are felonies
Yeah,
Felonies. Awesome.
for a swig.
for a swig.
So be aware, messing with the money. Most of the money you're not going to mess with, but should we tell them how to commit mortgage fraud, real estate fraud?
Well, let's do it so they don't. I actually have a scenario where I was advised to do something that was mortgage fraud. And
So let's talk about dual contracts really quick. 'Cause
Okay.
this is a quick way to make some bucks. So we all know that you need a minimum down payment, right? But what if we've got a scenario where you've got a buyer and a seller that kind of have an agreement? And the seller really doesn't need that much money, but your buyer needs money. And so you have one contract that you got between, well, even if they're not working with each other, you got one contract between the seller and the buyer that they know about. And then you get another contract with the lender. And so this one, you say, you can buy the house for $380,000. They just want it gone. But you're aware that this home is going to appraise easily for $420,000. So you say you're buying it for $420,000, even though you're buying it for $380,000, and you get a loan, you're going to split the difference. That's a really good way to mess with the money. Also, mortgage and all kinds of fraud, because it's misrepresentation, and that's double contract. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want a double contract. I don't, where like the seller's got some stuff in the house, and we're going to do a bill of sale. Now we have two contracts for the same stuff. No, you don't.
Right.
You have a contract for real estate, and then you have a contract for personal property. This is not double contract.
Right.
So, but if you have one contract that says a transaction is happening between the same individuals on the same property for a different amount, then another contract with the same people, same property, that's double contract. So that's a really good way to mess with the money. Also, if you say this this is the purchase contract even without a contract, and we're going to overpay you, and then you're going to kick some money back. Still a really good way to mess with the money. Don't lie to the lender on what's happening to pocket money.
With all the changes in lending, how often do you think this happens today?
I have never busted anybody on it with the contract, and actually if they knew what they were doing, it'd be very hard for me to find out. Most things I can discover because I will go, give me pay stubs and contact your employer, things like that. I verify. But if an agent sets this up
It does it well.
and
You'll
does it
never
well,
know.
yeah, I'll never know. If the division finds out, that I hope that transaction made you a lot of money and you can live the rest of your life comfortably in Mexico before they get a hold of you.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's not a problem.
Yeah. Anyway, make sure, because here's the thing I see in lending all the time. Like, people don't understand the implications of misrepresentation. So they say, yeah, I've got a good job, and this is what's going on. And really they're self-employed. And they're fudging stuff with a buddy. And then I say, well, we were talking to HR, and they said, you don't work here. Your buddy, the boss says you work there. What's going on? Say, oh, well, actually, this is going on. And then say, this is misrepresentation on a federally backed,
Yeah.
funded mortgage loan. This is fraud. This is the really cool thing where it's up to 30 years and $1 million fine. So do you want to continue in this, or do you want to just quit now?
Well, and let me bring this back to, again, working with an ethical lender, because I had a transaction last year that we were very iffy on, and we'd go back to the lender and she'd say, no, that will be fine, we'll be fine, this will be fine. And some of the things she would say, I'm like, man, that just sounds a little bit fraudulent to me. And then my buyer actually said, I feel like she's asking me to commit fraud. And I said, that's interesting you say that, because I have the same concern. And so I would ask the lender again, everything's clear, everything's been signed off, everything's fine. And I'm not a lender, so I don't know all the rules. I don't know all the backstory. I don't know my client's financial story, you know. So if she's telling me everything is fine, you know, I don't know. So am I being negligent or is it innocent? You know, because I don't know.
Well, that's...
And
You
so
can
you
ask,
want,
right?
right, and you can ask, and I can flat out say, is this legal? And she said yes. But even my client felt like everything was just a little bit iffy. The loan went through. But, you know, and she signed off on everything, had all the signatures it needed to have. And now I found out that she's no longer at the brokerage she was at. She was let go for fraud.
That's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. And so, I mean, I called my client and I said, hey, guess what happened? So, and I asked how they got in contact with this agent, because I had done another deal with her a year before, and I knew she was not doing what was right by my client. But because of a familiar relationship, my client couldn't change lenders. And so they told me how they met her, and they wanted to stay with her. So
Here's a super interesting thing. Privacy laws forbid lenders to disclosing any more information than, yes, I'm working on the loan. So you might want to get in writing from your client to submit to the lender that the lender has permission to speak with you about the following. Because then the lender can say,
this
oh
lender
yeah,
didn't care. She would have told me anything.
right, but I am waiting for the bank statements. Or we just had a large deposit that I can't document. Now we don't have source of down payment. And it's good to know and good to have that relationship, but legally the lender is supposed to have permission to disclose that information.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I don't want my lenders talking to the, you know, seller's agent and disclosing everything. But that also brings up a good point when you brought up cash, because I've had buyers who are like, we have $20,000. They literally kept it underneath their mattress.
yeah.
Well, how do we know that? How do we know where that money came from? So if you're working with buyers and they operate under cash, you need to make sure they get that in the bank like 4 or 5 months prior to buying a home. Right?
Yeah, you need 60 days.
Yeah,
But
so
from-
do it ahead of time, because you're going to be looking for a home for a few months
Right.
because it's hard to get your
That's
offer
one of my
accepted.
favorite examples of like real world, now entering the magical world of mortgage. Yes, you have $20,000. No, you don't have $20,000.
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. We'll be back in different shirts, doing this again in the next episode.
We even have
Okay.
15 minutes to go. We did well.
I like it.
Should we do another one?
Do you want to do another one?
I can do another one.
Let's
You
do
just-
another one to get
You
in.
just
Yeah.
did willful misrepresentation. It was
Okay.
flagrant.
1-9. Okay. Messing with the money becomes failure to turn the money over in a timely way. Did we just cover that one? Should we do the next one?
I think we should mention that it needs to be turned within 4 days or you're in violation of the contract,
Let's do
Well,
it.
in their calendar days and not
not business days.
business days, and if you give it to the title company, because your broker says give it to the title company, you don't have an addendum, you're actually breaking the law.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say that again. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, failure to turn. We're in the same shirts. Yes, this is not because we showed up again in the same shirts. It's because we just
Soldier on.
can't stop.
You can't and you won't and you, what?
Way too much fun. Failure to turn the money over in a timely way. I don't like to turn money over.
I do because it's not my money. It's my
Right.
client's money. It means we got a deal accepted and we are the winners. So, yeah,
But what if I like swig?
don't take cash. Then you're not tempted.
It's all about conversion. Let's convert all of the money.
Okay, how do we convert and turn money over?
No, you don't convert money. No, that's fraud. That is embezzlement. Is another good way of converting money. I will convert. This is a case example of converting money. Do you have your wallet?
Nope.
Dang it. You gave me all the money in your wallet, and then I took that money and spent it. I would be converting your money from your money to my money. Anyway, okay, but this is about time.
Okay. Yes,
about time.
yes, it is. So what would be an example of failure to turn the money over? What money and what's timely? What does timely mean?
So let's say your earnest money, you have 4 calendar days to get it turned in to the brokerage. If you don't, you're in violation of the contract. You're not in contract, and the seller could go with a different offer. So you don't want to put your buyers in that situation. If your earnest money is coming in late, let's say they sent the wire, but it's not going to go out on that 4th day, it's not going to come into the next day, and you've got proof it's been sent, I would send that to the listing agent along with an addendum explaining, you know, the wire's been sent, it will be deposited tomorrow, just so they have an extension, so everyone is on the same page, because you don't want to misrepresent that you had the earnest money when you did not.
Interesting question. Forgive my ignorance. How would they know?
They wouldn't know unless you told them, but what if they asked you for it later and you
Verification.
didn't have it? Yeah.
All right.
That's a problem.
Here's the other thing. Like 4 days sounds like a lot, but what if you have what's a Monday holiday?
Labor Day?
Labor Day. Labor Day is a good one. So they accept your offer on Friday. You have 1 business day to get that money in. So, because they're calendar days.
Yeah.
So if it's accepted on Friday, does Friday count as a day?
It's the next day.
I would, well, here's another fun thing. If it's turned in at Friday at 4:50, or if it's turned in Friday at 5:10, or anyway, because the contract, the day ends at 5. And so you might actually have an extra day depending
After
on when
5.
that's accepted. So
I think your 4 days starts the next day. That's been my understanding.
that's how I would count, because also, like, you've got what can we get away with legally and what can we get away to make people happy.
Right.
But
So if you get it Friday at whatever time, the clock starts the next day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then you got to get it in on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You have 1 day.
Yeah. And so that's a problem, like will come up, like, not that it's even related to earnest money, but for anyone who's funding their loans coming up around Thanksgiving, get it done before Wednesday, otherwise you're going to be out of contract because you have 4 days to fund the loan, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and county's closed on Friday. So you either need to do an extension to close
love
it
that you
on
brought that up.
Monday, or
Well,
you didn't perform.
and then like the addendum, like so many people are like, I don't know what to do. Like legally, maybe not always ethically, but you can change anything in the contract. Like if you're just doing contract law with an addendum in the state of Utah, you can write anything you want. You can change anything you want. That's what an addendum can do. Whether it's a good idea or not, talk to your broker, but like you want 10 days for earnest money acceptance or deposit, addendum, done.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of what happens maybe over like the Christmas break where you have multiple days that are holidays and people are shut down. And
Same thing. It's why you have an addendum. And you have to, like when you're scheduling, when you're writing up your contract, you have to think about things like that. It's part of being professional and doing your job.
This is why you get paid lots of money.
Yes. And then like you were saying, turning your money into a title company versus giving it to a broker. As part of the contract, everybody has to agree that this earnest money is going to be turned into a title company, and there's now a form for that. There didn't used to be, and the title could not distribute funds to the buyer without seller's permission or to the seller without buyer's permission. And now you can outline that in the addendum, but if you go and change the term, or if you go and deposit it with a title company without that addendum signed by both people, like,
You have a voidable
yeah,
contract.
exactly.
I love talking about money. Yeah. What else do we want to cover before we put this one
That's
to
the
bed?
only money that a real estate agent should ever have in their hand,
Ever
and
have.
really, 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 it shouldn't be money that they have in their hand. If plausible deniability and limited liability, like don't know about something illegal going on or have no possible way to be involved in it. If you can say, wire this money to my brokerage trust account, then you're out of it. You say, hey, it has to be there by this day, and you're done.
done.
Because like a check is safe and a money order is safe, and you're not gonna have to worry about conversion or commingling. But what if you lose the check?
Yeah.
True. I am aware of a new agent who got that earnest money check, and he's like, great, got that, check that off. He put it in his desk.
And it happens, and it's not because you meant to do it. It's because you're dealing with 3 transactions and you've got phone calls coming in. It's not that you're doing it intentionally. It can happen accidentally, but it can cost you and it can cost your clients.